This is the true story of a college student who saw something he was never meant to see, a single moment that led to fear, regret, and finally, a tragic end. It all happened at an old college in the Midwest. In one corner of the campus stood a library built over a century ago. Part of it had been sealed off for decades, and students called it the Stacks. Years ago, they said a young woman had taken her life there. Since then, strange stories spread, whispers at night, footsteps when no one was there, and shadows that moved in the dark. One student, let's call him Ethan, often stayed late to study. Final exams were coming, and one night, Ethan decided to study past closing time, hoping to find a quiet spot. Curiosity, or maybe stubbornness, made him slip past the barrier into the stacks. Inside, it felt colder. The air smelled of dust and something older, something heavy. Ethan turned on his phone's flashlight, and deep between the shelves he saw it. A shape. Tall. Dark. Almost human, but not. He whispered, "Who's there?" No answer. Slowly the shape melted into darkness. Heart pounding, Ethan turned to leave. Just as he reached the doorway, he felt it. Icy fingers on his shoulder. He spun around, but no one was there. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow seemed alive. In the days that followed, he began to change. His friends noticed first. He stopped laughing. His eyes looked tired, with dark circles underneath. Sometimes while talking, he'd fall silent, staring into space, as if listening to something only he could hear. Finally, voice shaking, Ethan told a friend, "At night I feel like someone's watching me. I hear breathing. And sometimes, I see it standing at the foot of my bed." His mother called, worried. "You sound strange," she said. Ethan whispered, "Mom, it's like something is here. My room gets freezing cold, and when I close my eyes, I see it." She told him to pray, to get help. But deep inside, Ethan feared this wasn't something anyone could help him with. Almost every night, he woke at the same time, 3:07 a.m. Heart racing, breath turning white in the cold air. He couldn't move, couldn't speak. In his nightmare, the shadow stood by his bed, leaning closer and closer, so near he could almost feel it. One night in the dorm bathroom, Ethan raised his head to look in the mirror. Behind him, the shadow, tall, still, watching. His heart froze. He spun around, but the room was empty. His hands shook. Tears filled his eyes. Desperate, Ethan set up his phone to record himself sleeping. Next morning, he checked the video. Hours passed with nothing, until exactly 3:07 a.m. The blanket lifted, just slightly, and behind him, something formed. A dark shape, blacker than the night, leaning closer and closer above his face. Ethan deleted the video in terror, but he couldn't delete what he'd seen. That evening, his friends found him standing by the window, whispering to himself, "You promised to let me go. You promised." They called his name, but he didn't react. The air felt freezing, like something invisible had filled the room. The next morning, they broke open the locked door. Ethan lay on the floor, eyes wide open, face frozen in terror, as if the last thing he saw was the shadow itself. On the wall, scratched deeply, were the words, "Now he is mine. Forever." Later, his friends felt guilty. "We thought he was just stressed. We didn't really listen." His mother, crying, whispered, "If only I had gone to him sooner. If only I had believed." But it was too late. Some shadows really do follow you home. Some doors should never be opened, because once a shadow sees you, it never forgets.